Hello there, you sweet sunbeams. Today I'm inspired to share on ghosts in the basement. And this sounds like this will be a spooky episode, but really it's an episode about magic and alchemy. Who are these spooky ghosts in the basement? I'm speaking of all the undigested past and unrealized future we carry about with us in our now. We all have a different combination of these in our burden backpack. Some of us are haunted by more ghosts of our past. They rattle their chains for release, but we perceive them as frightening and ugly and ignore their rattling behind the basement door of our subconscious. Some of us host more of the future, anxiety type of spooks. I've noticed currently the general atmosphere in the human collective of fear and uncertainty has many of us fixated on imaginary dire futures. This hosting of spectres of the past and futures is the Ghostworld. In this hologram, experience is a projection only. These fixations on past and future form overlays on the truth of the now, and cause a state of distraction away from the truth of our essence as unconditional love. The fixation on past and future is the type of imaginings that will have suffering as the motif. This is not the true and majestic purpose for the great gift of our imaginations. Remember, there's no getting it wrong. But I'll share that living in nowness is a fountain of beautiful hard truth. How do we remember our nowness? It's meditation. Now, many of us feel like meditation is just another thing to be good at, and therefore another thing to potentially fail at. It sounds a lot like a path of rigorous discipline with strong potential for boringness. Oh, the horror of the threat of boredom. Ooh. The reality is that meditation is simply the tuning in to what is our natural essence. The essence of tuning in to our natural essence is surrender. This is why we don't like to do it. Surrender is misunderstood as giving up, as giving in. We treat this with derision. But there's a clue in these so-called slurs. A true giving up is not the idea of being slumped in defeat, but can be the opportunity to tune in to our expanded knowing. Giving in does not have to be the idea that we must suffer doing what we dislike out of a suffocating duty to false constructs. It simply means turning to the consciousness that gives us our really real reality. In practice, this is alchemy. When we hear one of our ghosts rattling in our subconscious, we mistakenly believe if we let it out, it will run loose on a reign of terror. The ghosts in our basements are simply undigested, difficult energy that we are attempting to control. When they are locked in the basement, they cause a clamor. We will have life experiences that point out how we can free the trapped energy, but instead we generally just put more locks on the door to the basement and try to install better soundproofing. The key to becoming free of the ghost world is remembering who we are. Remember, source consciousness is really real reality. Source has no judgment of the ghosts in our basements, because Source is made of unconditional love. Source will lovingly provide opportunities to release the ghosts until we realize our ability as magicians and alchemists. We humans have the ability to transform Source energy into unlimited imaginings. These can be terrible monsters or bright beings of wonder. Again, there's no judgment. We get to choose our preference. If your preference is for magic in the service of unconditional love, guarantee it's a beautiful way of being. True surrender is simply the remembering of our true identity. Our true identity is unlimited, unconditional love. This surrender highlights that the greater interweaving of us all is difficult to be seen when caught by our limited lenses. Once you get a taste of it, all our effort to control the greater tapestry of life seems very funny. Leaning into our expansion as divine sovereigns means setting all the prisoners down in our basements free so they can be transformed back into pure source potential. I'm excited for the infinite potential of the collective imagination. Once we stop draining our magic on the addiction to past sting and futuring, we will return to our true role as divine sovereign beings. So, cheers to letting the unconditional love that is our true essence set free the prisoners down in our subconscious. The eternal now is a wonderful place to remember is our residence.